Welcome to my living room for chats about knits. Hi, my name is Silvia. I'm a knitter, a crocheter, and an aspiring sewist. And I'm here because I would love to chat about it all with you. Today, I'm especially excited because I want to share with you my Make 9 for 2022. This has been some very hard work because I have so many patterns that are gorgeous and challenging and cozy in so many ways that I'm so looking forward to put my needles on. And then I had to make my selection, to work my selection down to 9, which I won't deny was a serious challenge. But I made it and I'm so satisfied with it. So, shall we get started? So here you can see an overview of the 9 projects I'm gonna be working on. Aren't they just beautiful? And this is how I made a selection. Maybe you also have so many patterns and you cannot choose from. So my first idea was to choose patterns for which I already had the materials for, but that didn't work because the allure of buying new yarn was just too intense to resist. I couldn't put it as my goal. And to be honest, I feel my stash is still reasonable. So there's room for some new skeins and hangs. So what I really made my selection on was the characteristics of the patterns, and each one of the 9 that I've selected has one characteristic that was on the list of the techniques I really wanted to learn this coming year. So this first one that you're gonna see now, it's called SOMMARKOFTAN. It's a pattern from Maya Carlson. You will find the link to every one of these patterns right under the video if you're interested in checking them out. Some are free, some are paid, so they're all worth checking out if you find something that might inspire you. And this one was chosen because it has color work and buttonholes that are 2 things I wanted to work on, but mostly because this cardigan is steeked. I've heard so much about steeking that now I'm very intrigued to try. And if you're not familiar with the term, steeking means that you basically first knit your cardigan as if it was a sweater, so one piece, but then you knit some extra pieces, you make some reinforcements, so that then you go and cut your work open. So that's very useful, for example, if you want to do color work, it would be very difficult to make 2 different panels and give the color work the right continuity. But if you knit it as one piece and then afterward you cut it, then you're basically sure that the color pattern is gonna fit with each other. So I'm very intrigued about this, and this is my pattern number 1. Pattern number 2, it's this one. I love it. So this year I was very intrigued about texture. I was very called by everything that had cables, special stitches, tassels, everything that would give texture and dimension to the pieces. And when I saw this one, I was really fascinated. It's like you're wearing a piece of jewelry which is embedded in your jumper. I find it so incredibly beautiful. And that's it. Basically, that's the reason why I chose it, because there's a lot of cables, there's bubble stitch, there's texture and volume, there's a lot to keep your hands interested. And this was my chosen model number 2. Then we move on to ELSA, a jumper by Stine Olgaard Johansen. This pattern specifically doesn't have any special skill or technique that I wanted to either improve or learn, but it has, first of all, a very deep V-neck, which I'm experimenting now on my own sweater. I mentioned last week I'm knitting my slippery sweater. It's an alpaca sweater that I'm designing myself, and I wanted to put this V-neck. To be very honest, I've never been like a fan of V-necks, but I found a special V-neck, which is essentially the same one that you can see here. I don't know, it's different from everything I've ever seen. It's like this deep, I don't know, I like it very much. So that one I wanted to try, and for sure this Stine is gonna be a very good pattern to, how to say, consolidate my ability of knitting a V-neck. But especially, I mentioned before, this 72% mohair, 28% silk. I'll see what I can find, but it just sounds like something that is gonna be so beautiful to knit, like a yarn that is gonna be so cozy and comfortable and comforting. Comfortable, I don't know, I've never knit with mohair or silk for that matter, but I think it's just gonna be so beautiful to feel all of that softness in my hands. So I definitely wanted to add this pattern to my selection. And then next one, it's Cornwallis by Martin Story, and it's been published on the page of Rowan on Reverie. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna use this pattern specifically, but it was a reference for what I want to knit. And what I like of this sweater is, in the first place, that it's using two different kind of stitches. So one for the stripes and one for the upper part. So that I would really like to do. I would like to learn how to seed stitch, and there are so many other beautiful stitches that I've saved. I got a stitch dictionary that I cannot show you because it's supporting my computer right now. But I marked all of these stitches that I would love to try, and I think would work beautifully in the upper part of a sweater. And most importantly, there is stripe work. This year, I really, really want to learn how to knit stripes. It's in 3 colors that I love very much. So yeah, it seems something like challenging, but not overly challenging. There's gonna be color, again, texture, so something that definitely would keep me entertained, but without ever being too challenging. And then we have Aspen. This, you can find it on the page of Lion brand. And this is because so far I haven't knitted a circular yoke or seamless yoke sweater. And I love these very wintry motifs. You can literally find hundreds of different patterns for the motif that goes in the yoke. This is one I particularly like, but there are seriously just so many. Some are completely different, some have just tiny variations. So if this is something you would like to knit as well, take the time to scavenge a bit through all the patterns, because I'm sure you're gonna find something that is really perfect, like exactly what you were looking for. And the things I love the most about this kind of sweaters is to go through all the projects, pictures that other people have uploaded and see all of the beautiful color combinations they've chosen. Like, really, colors I would normally not think about putting together. Some people have tried and turned out so beautiful. Other colors that maybe I would have consciously not put together, but then I've seen used by other people and they're surprisingly matching very well. Or the other way around, works colors that I thought would work. Actually, I don't like very much in the end. So I'm spending just so much time looking at the projects of other people. And one thing that I love to choose color combination is to take walks in nature, which is where I usually find the best color combinations of all. They all seem to match each other perfectly. And to take a picture of that. And then there are so many applications on your phone that you can just put your picture into and it's gonna give you the exact color. So that is something I like to do when I see a color combination that I think is really amazing and I want to remember it in the first place and I want to choose the right colors. That's a nice trick. And then we have sandstone wrap. Maybe you can recognize it already. This one has been chosen because of the brioche stitch that I've never tried myself, but said to be the fluffiest, squishiest thing you can knit. I have knit, so that was actually my very first project, headband in a rib, fisherman rib, that I've heard it's a kind of step right before brioche, so it's not as complicated as brioche. It's a little bit easier, but you still get a very squishy, fluffy texture. But I thought it was time to try with brioche. And this year I found a newfound love for shawls. And like, I started so many projects for shawls. And really, I'm dreaming of wrapping myself in all of the shawls. So this one, as you can see, is from Drop Design. Also, this one, of course, you'll find the link down. And then back to another sweater, Neptune. I think this color work, it's just gorgeous. It's trended color work, exactly as it was for the yoke, seamless yoke sweater. But this one, I have no idea because I've never knitted color work, nor stranded, nor any other technique. But this one is so beautiful, and I'm so looking forward to experiment with color work and get more capable at it. This seems like such a beautiful project. So looking forward to the final result. And I actually really love these two colors together very much. So color work, color work, color work. This one, LUXORA, something a bit more summery. This one has been chosen because of this beautiful lace work that it's completely unexpected to me. So I've always seen like this kind of stripes, being them like vertical or horizontal, like a little decorative lace. But I was really surprised by this. First of all, the fact that it's triangle. I love how geometric it is, and then that it creates like a double. I mean, the eyes are drawn by the 2 points of the triangle at the bottom and the kind of V shape of the I like the geometry of the structure. It's lace work that I wanted to learn how to do. But if I have to be honest, I don't like this kind of frilly lace work. I couldn't find a pattern that I was really like, ooh, this I would love to knit and see coming together and have for myself to wear afterwards. But then when I saw this, I was like, this is really intriguing. So this is LUXORA by Samantha Stetter. And last one, it's another shawl. It's TEROLDEGO by Caitlin Hunter. I think this shawl is in the first place just beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that will be enough to make the top 9, I find. But the characteristic it's that it's knitting bias, which means it's not written vertically, horizontally, it's written diagonally, which I find once again very intriguing, very stimulating, and something I definitely want to learn. That's my top 9. So I would love it if you could tell me which one was your favorite pattern, if you have made a top 9, and which are the projects that made it there. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, and thank you for coming by. Bye.